In this unit, we want to take a look at problem solving in general. And we're not going to force every problem into an algebra equation, although we can use algebra to solve some of our problems. Some of our problems we'll be able to solve using proportions, ratios. We might use a linear equation. We might use an inequality. We might go back to what we've studied in a previous unit, this dimensional analysis or conversion between factors to help us answer the question. The main thing, though, is critical thinking, to really read through the problem carefully, to understand what's being asked of us, to figure out what do I really need to know to solve the problem, and what information did they give me that I don't really need to pay attention to, because sometimes we do have extraneous information, and it's important that we can look at that and sort through everything, pick out just what we need to answer the question. All right, so a lot of our application problems are going to involve percents. So we're going to do a little bit of basics here before we really do some problems. Percent means per 100. The other way you can think about it is that a percent of something is the part out of the whole. How much of the whole am I looking at? So am I looking at half of it, or 50%, 50 out of 100, or 1 out of 2? That's what a percent really is. So just a general conception of what that is. The other thing I want to make sure you understand is that if I want to find out how much a percent of something is, I'm going to be multiplying. So a part is going to be equal to the percent of the whole. All right, we'll use that later down the road, but I want to make sure that you understand that this equation right here, percent is the part out of the whole. If I multiply both sides by whole, I get this equivalent equation here. So that's why we're multiplying when we calculate percents of something. The other thing we want to make sure that we can do is do some transition between forms with percents. One way we need to go is to convert from that percent notation to an actual decimal form, because that's what we're going to use in our equations and in our solving in our calculators. So 20% means 20 out of 100, 20 per 100. So when I divide by 100, that's going to move that decimal point over a couple times. 37%, well, move the decimal 2 places over and get 0.37. 4%, 4 out of 100. So in this case, when you start right here next to the 4 and you move it back 2 places, you come up with 0.04. So very important to remember that you're moving 2 places when you're getting a percent. Now, a couple somewhat odd ones. 108%. Well, that would be 108 per 100. Moving the decimal twice, we actually end up with 1.08. So not everything that was given to you in percent form is going to be a 2-place decimal. It might have a whole number with it. So pay attention to where you're starting. Here's another somewhat odd one. Half of percent. Well, that would be 0.5%, correct? So 0.5 over 100. We got to move the decimal point 2 places, so we end up with 0.005. So watch out for those small ones. Pause it a second and see if you can figure out what 1/4% would be. Okay, let's see how we did. A quarter out of 100, you could change that to 0.25, or you could just use your calculator, and let me turn mine on here. And if I did parentheses 1 divided by 4 for 1/4, and then divided by 100, I would get 0.0025. So I know that is going to be the decimal equivalent. All right, what about going the other way? What if I give you a decimal? Could you turn that into a percent? Well, we just said that going from the percent to the decimal ends up moving it 2 places. So going from the decimal to the percent should also involve going 2 places, but this time it's the opposite direction. So I take the point here and move it 1, 2 places to the right, and 0.15 is equivalent to 15%. 0.0312 would give me 3%. Now 1.04 can be expressed as a percentage, and we'll run into this in some of our problems. Move it 2 places and you get something over 100%. So if you have an integer number attached with this decimal and you're turning it into a percentage, you're going to get something over 100%. That's all you need to remember. All right, now what about this one that has all these decimal places? Well, same rule applies. Move it 2 places and you're still going to have a decimal answer, so it's going to be 0.29%. Let me let you pause it here for a second and see if you can figure out what 0.0001 would be as a decimal. I'm sorry, as a percentage. All right, how do we do? Moving it 2 places, 1, 2, I still have 0.01, so it's 0.01%. 0.01% is a very, very small decimal. All right, I have an example here of where you might run into using percentages. So I picked this data off of a couple websites, and I've given you the links there related to Jefferson County because that's where we're at. And I went ahead and wanted to look at the levels of education in Jefferson County, someone who has a bachelor's degree or higher. So for Jefferson County, that's 20%. If our population is 223,302 at the time I'm recording this, I want to find 20% of that number. Well, that of tells me I'm going to multiply. And I have to also note that I change my percentage notation to decimal notation, moving it 2 places like we just discussed, and then we get our approximate answer here. So that's how I could use percentages in a real situation. Here's another one. Okay, I recently got this flyer or this email telling me, hey, here's some deals for a sale that we're offering to you, and you get to pick. Well, I always want to be savvy and frugal, so I'm going to look at these and determine which one's really my best deal. Is it $20 off of $75? Is it $15 off of $50? Or is it $10 off of $30? One way I could do that is to determine the percent off in each case, not the dollars off, but the percent. So keeping in mind that percent is a part of the whole, I set up 3 little problems and find the percent in each case. So go ahead, why don't you try to pause it for a second and figure out what it is, and then I'll give you the answer in just a second. Okay, let's take a look. So what I said is I'm going to set up 3 little problems. So 20 out of 75. So $20 off of 75 is approximately 0.267. So if I put it in percent notation, it'd be 26.7%. Not a bad deal. But the next one says 15 out of $50. Well, when I put that in my calculator, I got 0.30. That's 30% off. That's actually a better deal. And then this last one is 10 off of 30. Well, when you put that in your calculator, you recognize that that is 0.333 or 33.33%. That's actually your best deal. You're getting more off for your money if you go with, hey, I'm going to place a small order and I'll get 1/3 off of my cost. So the biggest dollar sign isn't always the best thing. Just wanted to give you a practical application of where you can use percentage. Let me know if you guys have any questions.